Namaskar, welcome to Get Inspired Spiritually, a place to find yourself and awaken spiritually. I'm your host, Yadunandan. So, today we are going to speak about pain and spirituality. Pain is one of the most misunderstood aspect of life. In fact, it is very much inevitable in life. So, we are going to understand deeply about both pain and spirituality and how both are very much interrelated. uh, Pain is something that basically people have a very wrong and general perception of the pain is bad. Okay, so they perceive the pain negatively, and most people, they try to avoid the pain instead of dealing with the pain. So why it is like this? To answer this question, I think one should understand how exactly our bodies are designed and how our neurological and neuropsychological system is, set up by the God. So basically, we have why we try to avoid pain. The first basic instinct of every person is to avoid the pain. So gaining pleasure comes secondary. So what he does is he just first tries to avoid the pain, and gaining pain pleasure is comes secondary, because basically we have something what you call as neuro association, or the neural pathway, which basically the what you call as the animal brain, or basically the unconscious mind, which has become our body, which has integrated into each and every cell of our body. So that basically the reflex response is to avoid the pain. So what is a reflex response? So reflex response is, whenever you touch something hot unknowingly, immediately you take back your hand. So that way, your body immediately protects you from danger. So your body, your intellect, your consciousness may be advising you to undergo that pain, but your body will stop you from undergoing that painful thing, or do something that is very painful. So I think that's why most of the life coaches will say, lean into a discomfort, lean into a discomfort, or gain, if you want to gain something, you have to undergo pain. So that way. So this is the very reason why change is perceived as painful. So it is not change is inherently very painful. It is because our body and our mindset is set up in such a way that we want to stay in a safe zone. I mean, in a comfortable zone, and we don't want to take risks, or because we are afraid of pain. We don't want to undergo any excessive pain or any unwanted pain. So that's why we are conservatives, and we don't want to take risks. So that exactly hampers our growth. If you study any legendary person's life or anything, he got everything because he was bold and great hearted to undergo all those pains, and he dared, and he experienced a hell lot of pain. And the development happens in extreme discomfort and pain. So anything, if even if you study Darwin's evolution theory, it states that it is because the animals tried to expand their capabilities to find food or anything, and that was very painful, but it was inevitable for them. So that's why snakes previously, they were actually lizards. Actually, lizards and snakes are very much interrelated. Lizards, previously the snakes had the four legs which the lizards have, but since it found the food very easily, so it didn't use those four arms, and that's why snakes became snake. Now they are crawling. However, the lizard is can move very quickly, so with their legs, four legs, that they can move very quickly. So this is a best example. Like, if you don't lean into pain, if you don't use any skill, you will become completely like a snake. You become with no development, and that is stagnation is equal to death. So I think Les Brown very beautifully quoted, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't use your car for more than a month, your battery will be almost dead. Sometimes some people may have to recharge that battery. So that way you have to keep in tabs with whatever that, the skill or knowledge or anything. And even to learn a new skill, you should be ready to fail, you should be ready to undergo that pain. People may humiliate you initially when you are trying to learn new things, and trying to develop a skill or habit or anything. So that's why people don't work out regularly on a gym, because that discomfort, they are completely used to comfort. They don't want to undergo that discomfort. But success lies when you lean into that discomfort, and you get practice leaning into that discomfort, on a day-to-day basis. So that way you have to be ready to face the challenge, and be daring and face pain. Coming to, I was in fact very very inspired by, Sadhguru, where I watched his entire podcast. So he told that pain is inevitable, but suffering is your choice. So if you take anyone's life or any person's life, he has a lot of pain, he has some or the other pain. Maybe it can be personal, it can be professional, or it can be anything. So he may be undergoing a financial crisis in his life or anything, but the pain is inevitable, but suffering is his choice. So if he takes it into his heart, and he doesn't, do anything, and he is busy in hosting pity parties with many persons, or with his loved ones or anything, it's not going to, like, in his life will be ruined. And one of the things, like, if you're a person, like, who has undergone past life hypnotherapy or anything as such, past life regression or anything as such, we see the clients. If we see our clients, like, people, basically we have a lot of attachment towards this body. uh, if because of this attachment, suddenly if you experience any sorts of intense pain, you take it into your heart, and you carry it to the next incarnation also. Because we see patients with, people who are having a lot of knee ache or anything as such, they had some injury in the past lives, and that they took it to the heart because of the attachment towards their body, and they carried it to the next incarnation, and this incarnation they are suffering. So you can analyze, because that enters into the chakra. Okay, so chakras actually, like, to get freed away. I mean, you want to if you want to really cleanse the chakras, to have a strong aura, then you should give up this attachment towards the body. So why most people won't get up early in the morning and do yoga? Because their bodies are attached. Some people will just give up, they don't want to get up. Body just wants to stay happy, sleeping all day, with no productive activity. But that's not the case. You have to lean enough into the pain, be ready to undergo the pain, and any type of thing. It's not, nothing is easy in this world. If at all, both your, I mean, some of you might be doing meditation or anything. When you sit to meditate, the first few seconds or first few minutes, it will be very difficult to use to sit and, focus on your breath or anything as such. Most of your thoughts will come, they will try to distract you. Oh, wake up, bro, why it is so painful to you? So just get up, go watch a TV, listen to songs. Why do you do so much of hard work? But if you give up on that, you are losing something wrong long term, and that's actually, meditation is an eternal thing. So if you are not ready to lean into the discomfort, then practice the meditation for longer hours, then how can you gain? Meditation is actually an eternal gain. Okay, so people are ready. I've seen people who are ready to work out for 1 hour in gym, but they are not ready to, practice meditation for 1 hour. Your body is limited. With this body, your incarnation, once this incarnation is over, your body is gone. But meditation is something that you are doing it for your soul. Soul is eternal, and you have to do every day something, and every activity integrate into a soul activity. So it has to contribute to your spiritual awakening process. So coming to, the next thing that what we are going to discuss, we actually, so we told, coming to the greatest achievements are basically done when people are done by the people who are in intense pain, and they made the right choice. So they weren't afraid to take that risk because they had a high level of conviction that they have to do it. Take any example, greatest invention or anything. Take any entrepreneur who's been trying to build something out of his, whatever that he has. So he undergoes a lot of pain and he's ready. Why? Because he feels that his very existence itself is a waste if he doesn't achieve that. So that level of conviction you should have, and the same level of conviction every soul on this planet should have towards his meditation practices or yogic practices that he does. And if he doesn't do that, he is gaining. So what we see is that no matter how much ever you gain personally, no matter how much ever of wealth you earn, but if you are not doing anything for your spirit, for your next incarnation, then it is very difficult. Like you're just wasting time. So I mean, people are basically now every person has got hedonistic tendencies. So now people are very hedonist, and they work like donkeys for 12 hours, and they drink and booze and sleep in the weekend. So I mean, we don't see any. There are a lot of similarities between an animal and a working professional with no sense of spiritual sense or anything, spiritual quotient or anything as such. Because he's a donkey, he's just working all day, and even an animal also works. A donkey will work for the whole 14 days, 14 hours a day, and even it eats, it mates, and he sleeps. It sleeps. The same this person. Only thing is, he is using his intellect to work and do some intellectual activity, but in the end he's just an animal who is working for a salary, who works something, who eats, who earns his bread. He eats, drinks, and sleep in the weekend. So there is no difference. So every person has to find this spiritual cause for his life. So if you are not doing anything to awaken spiritually, then you are just wasting time, and this time will not be back, because this human incarnation is very pure, and it is a very rare thing. It's by God's grace that you have got this human incarnation. We urge you to do something for your spiritual awakening or spiritual journey, and integrate every activity of your life into the spiritual activity that you need to do. Everything is spiritual here. Even you work, what you breathe, what you work, what you speak, whatever you do, it has to be integrated into the spiritual activity. So I see people like people who say, oh, I am spiritual, I won't do work, I won't work, I will just I will just go down and I will join a monk. No, before you become a monk, even monk has a lot of responsibilities to be managed and things. So first, I think karma yoga, whatever we do, we have to do our duties very well, and we should not be afraid to take new ventures if it is really inevitable, and if it is it's going to help your spiritual awakening or anything as such. So spiritual awakening, you have to do it. It may be very painful initially, and then yet you get used to the pain. So it's like once you get leaning into the discomfort, you will become completely adjusted to that particular level of pain. Best example is like people who have started to work in a gym. When they lift the weights, it is extremely painful. Each and every muscle will tell them to give up. So is true in any sort of spiritual practices. When you practice Kumbhaka Pranayama, which we have done a video on our YouTube channel, while when you hold your breath for the in the initial 20 seconds or 30 seconds, depending upon the person, your body will say, oh man, you can't hold the pain, give it up. No, that's not. If you give up, it's gone. So that is done. So you have to learn to lean into that discomfort, manage yourself, and never give up, especially when you are in pain. So coming to the other aspects of the thing, I think people have a very negative impression or negative image or perception towards traumas. Okay, so some of you might be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, or anxiety neurosis, or you may have social anxiety, or you may have depression. So basically, generally, what's the problem is, people with depression, they say that, oh, it is very bad, it sucks my soul. Some of them, they just commit suicide. Okay, so committing suicide is not bad, which we are going to cover that, but with what intention you do is matters a lot. Coming to, I mean, I said I saw so many celebrities. I saw a celebrity. I don't want to name her and personally attack her. We don't believe in anything personal. But when the father of her kid died, okay, she didn't send her son to cremate his father. So why, if I mean all these media personnel, they asked, why didn't you send your son to cremate his father's son? Which ideally, as per Sanatana Dharma, son is supposed to perform the last rites of his father. So she didn't send. Why? Because, oh no, he's very sensitive and he's already he's afraid he may get traumatized. This is a very bad thing. I mean, whether you like it or not, life is like this. You have to accept the pain that he had to accept. He has to accept that his father is gone and he has to manage. He has the responsibility of his mother. He has to cremate his. He has to do the last rites of his father. So that way he has to do. But if he backs off from responsibility because trauma is bad, no, that's not how. Trauma is good. Let us, if you take it in the right spirit, if you take any pain, any sort of emotional injury or any sort of a thing, if you take it in the right spirit, it is very good. You will become stronger, and you will become very clear on what you really need to do. So once you reach that state, no matter how much ever, once you realize that what you need to do in life, both in a worldly aspect or a spiritual aspect, once you see that no matter whatever that happens, when you get this attitude, no matter whatever that happens, I will do this. Even if I experience pain, even if I get distracted, I will refocus. I will refocus on whatever that I need to do. I don't mind. I accept that pain is inevitable, but I'm not ready to suffer, host pity parties, sleep for the whole day. That's not going to work. So you have to embrace the pain, make friendship with pain. So traumas are good. Your traumas are basically, see, I think I remember now, as of now, I remember a quote from Oprah Winfrey. She told that, turn your wounds to wisdom. So your every emotional wound that have undergone in the past is a birth opportunity to improve yourself. If you are still, if no, see, I think never let the pain to again damage you. You're done. Every damage, everything, that whatever the trauma did to you, it has evolved you. You are getting evolved. You are becoming very strong. Only Kavitis, you have to take it in the right spirit. You may have, you don't let the past to haunt you, and accept it. But don't forget the lessons. Accept the pain, accept everything that happened, and whoever the people or whatever that happened, the past is past. No matter how much ever host pity parties, discussing and talking about it with your loved ones or your friends, or don't be trapped in the cage of the past. So that way, and how can you deal with it with any pain? See, no, any pain can be resolved with time and acceptance. These two are the most powerful healers. No person is actually that damaged to start over again. He can start over. He can. The human spirit is extremely powerful, and since we are souls, we are atmans. Okay, so we are not this body. Our body may be very feeble. After doing some harsh work, we may feel like, oh, I want to give up. No, if you have the right mindset, if you have the right intention, if you have that the urge to do that high level of conviction with the right intention, you can endure all the pains, and all those pains that you undergo during that the evolution process. It is good to you, it is evolving you, and that is what the metamorphosis is all about. So you are transcending spiritually also. Coming to the spiritual aspects, in fact, people have people, some of you might be practicing Kundalini yoga and various other yogic techniques that you are doing. But one thing, let us, most of the people, whatever in social media, that what we see, they are whitewashing, not whitewashing in the sense that they are just revealing only the brighter aspects of Kundalini awakening. So let us be very frank and let us state the brutal truth about Kundalini awakening. So it is not a cakewalk. So it will make you realize the darkest truths of life. it will make you, bleed internally. I mean, emotionally you will have a lot of emotional injuries while you are undergoing that strengthening process. Whenever each chakra gets activated, it's very painful. Some of you might be doing, the, which we want to, give an advice on that. Soon we will be posting videos on how to do Kundalini yoga in a sequential way. So that way is, I mean, people are just, doing Kundalini yoga and they think that it's all good. No, you will fail a lot, you will bleed a lot, in a worldly sense. You will see that this world life is not worth living for the worldly, things whatever that we think. So you will see that there is something higher dimension that you want to reach. So this is this what is, I mean, I think this is the time that I have to define spiritual awakening. So what is spiritual awakening or chakra activation? See, first thing, what is chakras are not inside your physical body. Okay, it is inside your astral body. So whenever the person is actually working on the mantras, the lam, vam, ram, so yam, soham, so these things, like, whenever he is working on that, uh, each cell of your body is actually receiving the energy. You are supplying the cosmic energy to your each cell of your body, both from the inside and the outside, and your each cell will almost die. Like, each cell will die. Actually, within 6 months, most of your cells are dead and they are reborn. Okay, so with each cell, you will start to, your each cell will be vibrating at an altogether different frequency with each activation of your chakras. So basically, it is a sort of a death. Okay, so you will die every day with each cell vibrating at a higher frequency. It is very painful, and most of the people may, they may not, they may give up also, because I've seen people who have had been into the practice of meditation and then they suddenly quit. That's bad, because that is an eternal thing. It may be very painful, it is definitely very painful, but that is actually the permanent solution to all of your problems. So that, I think, have this mindset. Don't seek relief. Okay, seek redemption. So redemption is, I mean, this attaining nirvana is actually the permanent solution to all of your problems. So in life, after one of the other problem, you see one problem is solved, and then there are series of problems that are coming yet. So life is full of problems only, but how you deal with those problems and what you are doing to eternally be awakened and attain nirvana is actually, so that is what actually the permanent solution. So where in spiritual awakening, or the chakra activation, you are actually replacing your each cell with a higher energy. You are integrating your physical body with the astral body. There is what you call as, like, a layer of ajnan, or a thing that is going to get burnt off. So your karmas are going to get burned, and those karmas, I mean, especially we made a video on the divine law of karma. So I request you to please go through, but still we will be briefly, telling about that. So karmas, like, that has to be burnt, sanchita karmas. So there are four types of karmas: chit karma, sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, and agama karmas. So amongst this, chit karmas and sanchita karmas are actually, they can be burnt. I mean, chit karmas can be burnt, and sanchita karma, it is very painful to, burn these karmas. Okay, so chit karmas are daily karmas, what you do. So whatever, if I'm doing this work, so I'm incurring positive karma or good karma, negative karma. So karma is not something that, a theosophical proposition. It is a metaphysical process. It is energy. Karma is energy. So if you are doing good work or sattvic work, that is positive energy. And if you are doing just, some kind of a hedonistic work, like, for the sake of, just like an animalistic thing, that's rajas. Okay, so it carries neutral charge. And the third one, the evil activity or any sorts of bad activities that you do, that is tamasic karma. So that carries negative charge. So coming to chit sanchita karma, so these two are actually, they can be written off. Chit karma, when it stays in the account for longer periods, I mean, the energy, I'm not telling, don't imagine like a bank account or anything as such, but it is an energy that you are carrying energy. Everybody has energy, okay. You have what you call as aura. So that's actually, aura is actually the energy layer around your soul. So we have a lot of energy, but because of linga sharir, so because of that agyan, or no, that is actually preventing us from glowing very brightly. So ideally we are very strong, we have a hell lot of energy, but because of that body encircling our soul, we are not actually able to actualize our true potential. So this kundalini awakening, or enlightenment eventually, so that will actually make you integrate your physical body to the astral body. It is burning off your physical body and all your agnan and samskaras, bad samskaras. It is burning it off. So burning off sanchita karmas, it's a very painful process. So God will be assisting you, but still it is very painful process. You feel like you're almost dying every day, still you are born. It's like a dying without actually physical death. It's like dying without actually physically dying. So that way it is. So it is damn painful. And coming to that, there is actually a phase called the dark night of a soul. Okay, so this dark night of a soul is a what you call as a very painful process in the very painful phase in the process of spiritual awakening. So this is as the very term states, it is the dark night of a soul, where whenever your chakras are getting activated, especially the mooladhara, you will undergo intense pain. So what it happens is, whenever you are conscious living in this worldly sense, you experience a hell lot of pain, and some people will undergo existential crisis. There will be a hell lot of some people have this kundalini psychosis. So kundalini psychosis is not actually a psychosis, or the schizophrenia what medical professionals will term it. It is actually a psychosis which is not actually a psychosis. It is basically a sort of a what you call as a spiritually awakened consciousness, where you may a little bit of experience a little bit of hallucination, but it is not due to hormonal imbalance or anything as such. But you see, uh, that is actually the very painful process which is followed by the dark night of a soul, where you undergo immense lot of pain. Some of them people will have existential crisis. So after, but one of the the beauty of those phases is, whenever you are interacting with this world, you will have a lot of pain, but when you sit and meditate or do your yoga, mantra yoga, whatever the mantras that you chant, you will have immense bliss. There will be periods of immense bliss, and also there will be periods of immense pain. So generally that phase, I mean, depending upon the soul, it will last for 2 months. So what we have seen is like 2 months sometimes people have their chakras are activated. So that's a very good thing, but you will undergo, you have to be daring to undergo that immense pain and face it boldly for the sake of long term good, for eternity, and to awaken the divinity within you. So you have to undergo that. Coming to the other aspects, yes, so we covered all these things. Now coming to this, now we spoke about this. People who are in depression, who are actually hankering to commit suicide. Okay, so look, I think Hinduism and Sanatana Dharma and Buddhism, they have a different perspectives towards death. Okay, so in fact, it is completely against the Western philosophical definitions of death. Okay, so where the Abrahamic religions, they have this belief that we have one body and once there is one life. So once you are dead, that's gone. No. So Hinduism, I mean Sanatana Dharma and Buddhism, it completely discards this particular aspect, where we consider that death is actually a change agent. This body is like a clothing, and your soul is eternal. It is unfettered and undaunted. So whatever that happens, it is we are changing, like how we change the clothes, we change the bodies in different incarnations. So death is a change agent. So well, in a general sense, I mean, people who are into that, people who are into living a life, committing suicide, I mean trying to attempting commit suicide is bad. Okay, so why? Because of some, because you are not actually able to face the emotional pain in life, and you want to end your life. So whenever a person dies, as per Bhagavata, you will experience the pain when at a time when 1,000 scorpions will bite you at a time. So that will be the level of pain that you will be undergoing. So we will make a separate video on this. I mean, our body is actually a holy temple. It is like a chariot. Okay, so Kathopanishad, it calls this body as a chariot. It's the chariot of God. So Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi, Shariram Rathamevacha, Buddhim tu Saratam Vidhi, Manaha Pragrahavan Naraha. इंद्रियाणि हयानाहुः विषयांतेषु गोचरान् आत्मेन्द्रिय मनोयुक्तं भोक्तेत्याहुर्मनीषिणः. So Lord Yama Dharmaraj advises Nachiketa about this, like Atma is the Rathi or the charioteer. I mean, Atma is actually the traveler, Rathi. So, and Buddhim tu Saratim Vidhi. So, Buddhi is actually the charioteer. Shariram Rathamevacha. The body is actually the chariot. Indriyani Hayanahu. Our senses, our 10 senses, 5 Gnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas are actually the, like the horses which are actually driving this holy chariot. So, and mind is actually the what you call as the thread that is actually trying to control these horses. So this way. I mean, Vedic philosophy defines our body as very holy thing. So, in a general sense, committing suicide. I mean, people have a very, even with respect to the suicide also, people have a very negative image, or they perceive it negatively. So, on the contrary, like, there are certain principles, people who are like, who support, euthanasia, I mean, assisted suicide. So, for people who are in extreme pain, especially people who are brain dead with no, aspect or prospect of, life, that they will be normal again. So, there are activists who actually support, euthanasia, so that they are actually pro-suicidal. However, again, there is a, it's actually a very, very sensitive topic, and it is very subjective to that person. So why government is not actually legalizing these euthanasia or anything is that the reason is, like, once you start, I mean, people have, see, if you study the psychology of the persons who commit suicide, most of the people who commit suicide, it is, in a moment they decide that they don't want to live and they commit suicide. That's it. So some of them, luckily, they live, they are alive, they get back to life and they continue living. But some people, like, most of them, like, some percentage of them, they become successful in death. So however, I mean, suicide is just an event. I mean, if you objectively study any event in life, suicide is just one event where a person tries to, commit suicide. But with what intention he does is what matters more. So let's say, I mean, we have our soldiers who get martyred while fighting against the, national enemies. While fighting, they fight, they kill, and while they are trying to kill the enemy, they are dead. Okay, so but we call him as martyrs, shahid ho gaye. So they are virgati prapti ho gaye. So this way we celebrate, we honor their death. For the sake of their nation, they sacrificed their lives while fighting particular thing. So here, their intention is very pure. Okay, so they gave their life while serving the nation. So the intention is very important. So the same person, if he commits suicide out of some pain, people will say, like, he died like a dog. Okay, but however, a soldier, while fighting for the nation, if he dies, he is honored, and we have so many medals, and he is honored. Okay, so that way, your intention is everything. See, what you realize after studying Stoic philosophy, Buddhism, and Vedic philosophy, you will understand that there is no such thing called good or bad in world. Okay, the world is very dynamic, and good or bad are very subjective. But one thing is static, one thing is constant. With what intention you do the work, with what intention you do anything, that is what is everything is. That is what matters. So righteousness or dharma is a very subjective thing. So coming back to this suicide thing. So that way, so soldier, it is a good. He will be honored with Veer Gati, and he will go to heaven, and he will be very honored thing. So that's a very good thing. However, that's not the case with general suicides where people will do that. There is a concept called in Hinduism. I mean, sorry, I should not use Hinduism because isms are basically for religions. So Sanatana Dharma, there is something what you call as Prayopavesha. So Prayopavesha is a very interesting concept, and it is done by people, saints, especially if they don't have any responsibility, and if they don't want to, if they don't have any responsibilities, and if they don't have any desires, they starve to death. Okay, so that way it is a kind of a self-sacrifice done to attain nirvana. Okay, so I mean there are so many saints in India who did actually this way, and they starved to death. Okay, even in Tibetan Buddhism we have this kind of a practice where Tibetan Buddhist monks, what they do is they sit in a stone box, and there is some ventilation for them, and they starve to death so that they can attain nirvana. So that way it is there. So that you should not call that as a suicide. Okay, because look, if you say that death is for this body, death is not to the soul. Soul is eternal. You can't kill a soul. So basically, people who think that I will kill him, or I mean all these criminals, they are so stupid that they think that they can kill by killing the body of a person. They are actually killing that person. No, that person is not body. The person is basically an atman. So he's a soul. So he can't kill a soul. So such idiocy will lead to such criminal crimes and things. So they do that. So however, coming back to Prayopavesha. So Prayopavesha it's actually no, it is actually a very good thing. Monks and saints who don't have any desires, and they are doing it for the right intention. Most importantly, they are doing it to pacify the Lord, to attain nirvana. Then Prayopavesha is cannot be considered as suicide. So these are very sensitive, and all these people who go on for these human rights and all these are they can't understand these concepts. So with what intention you do, with what intention you starve and die. So what these people do, I mean what these monks and great souls will do, so that they are it's a kind of a thing that you need to do. And even we see so many, I mean even in Bhagavata we see that I mean Gopikas who were so desperate that Krishna didn't come back from Mathura, they actually committed suicide. Okay, so again, with what intention they did? They did for the love of God. God didn't come to them at the right time, and they felt that we can't live. Oh God! So with right intention to pacify him, they did that. So that cannot be considered a suicide. So okay. So suicide is actually like when a person commits it for his own selfish reasons. So he's not actually able to endure the pain. So he doesn't have the guts to face life. So that can be considered as suicide. But this is not. So again, so this way Gopikas did, and they attained nirvana. Krishna gave them nirvana, so they were completely relieved from this painful cycle of birth and rebirth. And even in Japanese philosophy, we have, I mean, Zen philosophy, we have something what you call as the harakiri. So harakiri, it is actually stabbing yourself and dying for the love of God. So it's a very painful practice. Japanese, they have this culture of suicide. Even today, like Japan is the country with the highest number of suicide. I don't know why people have taking such harsh and wrong steps. Although the culture is there, but it has to be done for the right reason, not for just to relieve themselves from pain. Because whenever a person commits suicide for wrong reasons, for selfish reasons, he will become a pretatma with no body, and he will be just it's a very painful stage where people you will have the hunger, but you can't eat. You don't have the body to eat. You will be having the thirst, and that thirst can't be alleviated. You can't drink the water because you don't have a physical body. So that is very painful. And whatever the ayush you have, because the God has set us a certain time for us, like like 70, 80, 100. Average is 120, that is setting. But if a person commits suicide at the age of let's say 25 years, if his ayush or time tenure on this planet is 75 years, he has to stay in that state. That's such a painful state for 50 years. So unless someone gives them by doing some rituals, and we can actually relieve, like past life hypnotherapists, like in fact we have dealt with those cases, so where we have been actually giving them, relieving them from that painful stage that we have done. So that is good, and the thing, but it is not advisable to it's just a flight response to the problems that they have. And that's not good, that's not at all righteous one. However, Prayopavesha is a different case, and that is it. So that we have to be cautious. Your intention is everything here. So anything that you do with the right intention, for the right reasons, so it is a good deed, and you will be rewarded, and you will gain a lot of positive energy derived from that work. So, and you attract all good things in life, and you keep on doing good things in life. When you give good to the society, when you add value to the society, when you add value to yourself, when you are concerned about your the spiritual journey towards nirvana, definitely you will succeed. And finally, like don't have negative perceptions towards pain. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is your choice. Whatever the pain that you are undergoing, face it boldly. Try to look at it at a different way. Our lives have become very complicated. We have a lot of stress, we have a lot of responsibilities, lot of relationships to manage. But running away is not the solution. Embrace the pain, take advantage of the pain. So every obstacle or any crisis is a wonderful opportunity for you to improve your life, improve, transcend spiritually. Please meditate regularly. Don't give up on meditation, don't give up on Kundalini yoga and things, because just because it's actually a temporary pain that you undergo, whatever the dark night of a soul or anything, that's actually a temporary, but it will give you, it will relieve you, it will redeem you from this painful cycle of birth and rebirth. So choose redemption. Don't choose a temporary relief. uh, I request you to please comment and on our things, and you can contact us for any sorts of spiritual problems if you have, because we will be sharing. Please email us at spiritualityunited@gmail.com. So we will get back to you with thing. So even you can ask in the form of comments. We protect your privacy. So it's not like that we do, and we don't even use your name or anything as such. So in that way we want to help the people. So we have actually, like the very intention that we started this channel is to bust the lies and tell the truth. And the truth is something that is all going to always protect you. Anyways, please, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, share and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us. Anyways, see you soon. Thank you so much for watching again.